If it wasn't for Harry keeping that account, we wouldn't know today, obviously, the story. And Harry didn't actually publish it. It was published, and there wasn't much actually printed at the time in the Singapore papers, which was rather interesting. It was actually printed in the Madras newspapers, and it was also printed in Australian newspapers, because we have all of those. And we have the captain's log, which was actually from the genealogical department in Melbourne. So we've been able to glean other documents outside of Harry's, but it was the actual account in 1950 that was, and why that was rerun, I don't know either. But obviously the story was enough impacting that 100 years later, it was published again in a 3-part series. And it was that 3-part series that we stumbled upon in our reading of the microfilm in Singapore, that we then got the full account, which was inspiring enough for us to, you know, go out. Because we knew there was nothing of value on this boat. We knew there was no treasure, there was no gold, there was nothing in the way of monetary value. But it was the account of Mrs. Dare. It was the account, the story of Colonel Campbell. It was just the remarkable way that they made their way back, and what happened to them afterwards, that originally just challenged us to see if we could find it for historical value. We didn't anticipate this. We didn't anticipate the way that it would draw us in the way that it has drawn us into history, into the value of history. In 100 years from now, would I want someone delving into my personal stuff and knowing what, you know, it's invaluable. What we just don't know enough. The fact that we have a bilge pump from that particular time, I don't know if there's another bilge pump on the planet that is in this form from 170 years ago. And that, for me and the rest of us, is just incredibly, it inspires us to see what else. It inspires us to face those risks, and they're enormous risks, to face the enormous cost to do that, and to know the legacy will be a museum established here in Miri. Kuching has a museum already. Miri doesn't. To know that when I'm old and grey that I've established that here in Miri motivates me. It really motivates me on, and a legacy that I'm leaving for kids to come through. And I would just wish that we could, you know, grow those fruits. If they hadn't been preserved, I could have taken one and planted it and grown a tree from the seed from 170 years ago. So.